God. Bryce Huff just took the money and he said, "Get me out of Philadelphia." This interview just explained it all. And we're going to be talking about a lot more things. So let's get straight into it.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. There's definitely a lot to discuss here. Now, the first thing I want to go over is Bryce Huff. Now, he had an interview. Okay, we know he was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. He had an interview about why he left Philadelphia. It's finally all on the table right now. Obviously, one of Howie Roseman's worst moves the last few years. And this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I wanted to trade like fairly early on, and just because of how things went in Philly, like I knew pretty early on that it wasn't a fit. But like being a signing of that magnitude, like being undrafted and going and getting that contract and being in Philly, like the expectations are at an all-time high. So I knew a trade wasn't going to happen during the season. But I had just kind of like talked to my agent about it. I was like, yeah, when it's all said and done, like I might need to step, just to be able to put myself in the best position to ball out and have a fruitful career. And there's a plethora of things that went down. I don't want to get into specifics, but
Of course.
I like being in the league for five years last year. I'm going into my sixth right now, but being in the league for 5 years, I kind of knew what it felt like for me to be what's the word? To be in a good situation, and that's just what I was like, yeah, I gotta look out for myself and do what I think is best. So I mean, I kind of knew where it was headed like fairly early on into the season, but probably even training camp, if I'm being honest with you. But so whenever
Essentially, Bryce Huff was not all in going to the Philadelphia Eagles. He knew as soon as training camp that he wasn't a fit for that defense. Can't even blame Bryce Huff, to be honest with you. You got to blame Howie Roseman. This is one of the worst signings that he's had the last few years. We don't really give him a lot of shit as of recent, the last few years, but this one, yeah, it was really bad. If you're Bryce Huff getting offered a contract like this as a deep rotational third down edge rusher, you're going to take the money. So he went to Philadelphia, he took the money, and it really showed on the field. But when you get paid, and this is what Bryce Huff hasn't had this much success. He's had one 10-sack season, okay, which was in 2023 in a deep rotation with the Jets. The Eagles traded Hassan Reddick. Okay, they ripped the Band-Aid off. The Eagles were going to deal with a holdout from Hassan Reddick, and they let him go to the New York Jets. And because how bad the coaching staff was in 2023 and the ending of that season, how bad it went, we didn't know what Nolan Smith was going to do in the 2024 season. So this was literally a panic move. It's a panic move. There's no way. I can't see that there was 4 or 5 other teams coming up to Bryce Huff and offering him a big contract off of one 10-sack season. But as you saw Bryce Huff play, he was falling on his face. His rush was really bad. His get off was really bad. There were times where he looked really lazy. He was chasing somebody on the sideline, fixing his helmet. There was some weird stuff going on with him. Post-bye, he actually played a little bit better, like he had a half a sack, or I don't know what he ended the season on, but it wasn't good. So then Bryce Huff needed to have surgery on his wrist or his hand or something like that, and the Eagles said, you know what? Go get the surgery. Go get the minor surgery. You'll be back for the playoffs. You'll be ready to go. And this man got healthy by the end of the season. And by the Super Bowl, he was 100% healthy, and he was a healthy scratch for that Super Bowl. So the Eagles literally bench him in that Super Bowl as a healthy scratch for a 37-year-old edge rusher in Brandon Graham. And then we got the question in the offseason after 24, after winning the Super Bowl, is Bryce Huff still going to be here? I knew for a fact after he was a healthy scratch for that Super Bowl that his time was really limited. The Eagles weren't going to trade Bryce Huff during the season, so they kind of waited and waited to see if there was going to be a trade partner out there, and the Eagles ended up trading him to the San Francisco 49ers. So now he's in a deep rotation as an edge rusher for the San Francisco 49ers, and he'll probably play well. And even Vic Fangio said he'll probably play well. They didn't know what was going to happen with Jalix Hunt. There really was no answers. So hence why I say this, Bryce Huff really chased the money. He got to Philadelphia. he wasn't a fit, and he decided he wanted out so early with the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't even try, didn't even want to try. And that's pretty much the situation with Bryce Huff. So I'm actually glad this news actually came out, that we were able to get more information, because there was a lot of rumors at the end of the year that Bryce Huff was walking around pissed off around the NovaCare complex, that his attitude wasn't great. And you know, after winning a Super Bowl, give me back my damn Super Bowl ring, because that man don't deserve nothing from the attitude he had this year. But that's the news on Bryce Huff, and I guess we'll see it when we see you. Now, Sports Illustrated came out with some news on Eagles adding another quarterback that Philly is linked to a potential star. Now, this name has come up, I think, for the second time so far, and we're talking about Asante Samuel Jr., okay? Obviously, he missed some time last year due to his stinger injury and was pretty much telling teams going into the 25 offseason that he was going to have surgery for this on his neck in April. Now, it's free agency in March, so if teams already know you're getting surgery in April for a stinger injury, even coming off that stinger, no teams are going to sign you to big money. I think that's what Asante Samuel Jr. was kind of thinking and hoping, that he was going to get signed in the process, and it never really happened. I think this was a big target for the Eagles a few years ago, and obviously the Eagles took Landon Dickerson over Asante Samuel Jr., because I know a lot of Eagles were really pulling for him, not because of his name, because they thought that he would have been a good fit in Philadelphia. But he's come out with a lot of videos so far of him working out and doing a lot of things and staying in shape, and it seems like he's in pretty good shape and he's ready to sign to a team right now. That number 2 corner spot right now for the Eagles is a big question mark. We're not going to know till preseason games, until Keely Ringo is going to be the one that's going to start opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. No media out there right now, between Philly media or media around all these NFL outlets, even are recognizing Keely Ringo. You know why? Because the man is not getting reps. Okay, even Vic Fangio says the kid needs reps. Eagle fans piss me off in a lot of ways, because like Sidney Brown can come in for a couple snaps, miss a couple tackles, and that defines him of what he's going to be on this team. Ringo could be thrown right into the fire because of an injury or something like that, and he plays bad, and everyone thinks of this analysis of he's going to play bad for us later on. I don't think it's that fair to criticize a player like that because he jumps into a game really cold out of nowhere and expect him to be that successful. Obviously, Isaiah Rodgers comes into games and plays well because he's a legit starter in the NFL. He has started for another team before he became a Philadelphia Eagle. There was really no excuses for Isaiah Rodgers to even play bad, so we kind of had high hopes for him. If the Eagles feel like they need to pull the trigger on another cornerback, and trust me, I don't think Adoree Jackson is going to become the starter. I think Adoree Jackson is a nice veteran to have because he can play inside, he can play outside, but primarily I think the Eagles want to keep him on the outside as a number 2. I think that was a really good sign by the Philadelphia Eagles and Adoree Jackson, but I don't think that's the move where they're like, well, if Keely Ringo doesn't pan out this offseason program, Adoree Jackson's going to be the starter. The 2 noticeable free agents that are really still out there is really Stephon Gilmore, that's really trying to find the right situation, be an older type cornerback. But you have Asante Samuel Jr. right now that's only, 25, 26 years old, so very young, and he probably won't cost that much for a 1 year. So if he would come to the Eagles for 1 year, is it a pit stop? Is it a long-term answer for the Eagles? No. The Eagles want to start Keely Ringo because, you won't have to pay him for a while and probably won't get paid that much in a couple years. I think this is another position for the Eagles in training camp in the offseason program where it's a wait-and-see approach, just like corner, just like safety, just like right guard. I think there's at least 3 positions right now where things really need to carry out themselves, and the Eagles can't hit the panic button. We talked about Bryce Huff and hitting that panic button. We need to produce. We need to get these guys reps, put them in good positions to win football games, set them up for a nice success story, and Keely Ringo could be here for the rest of his career. He's the only Georgia Bulldog so far that hasn't really gotten his shot, and now he's going to get his shot. So I think we really hold off on this idea. We kind of keep it in the back burner for a little bit and really just see what happens. Well, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. What do you guys think about the Bryce Huff signing? And is it more on Bryce Huff? Is it more on Howie Roseman? You guys let me know in the comment section below. And Asante Samuel Jr., what are you expecting? Who do you think is going to win the job at the number 2 corner spot? Do you think Keely Ringo is going to win it all? Guys, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. Make sure you hit the like button because it helps out tremendously. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Shakes what up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.